Hi, I'm Ariel. You're watching She Wants the Diction, and today I'm going to be doing a double feature. This is a series that I started a couple months back, and I only did a couple times. So if you don't know what it is, it's basically I review two books in the same video that have at least one thing in common. In this case, it's going to be the same author. It could be literally anything as long as they have at least one thing in common, preferably more. So that's all that is. Let's talk about why these book covers are so fucking ugly, and I'm glad that this has my full name on it. Like, I'm just gonna cover that up. Y'all don't need to know my name. For real though, these covers are ugly because what it is at my library is that you can request for them to purchase 3 books per month. I'd say half the time my requests for them to buy something gets approved, but in this case I requested that they buy both of these books. It's Even This Page is White, if you can't read it, and I'm Afraid of Men, which you obviously can't read because they got a big fat piece of paper over that one. I requested that they buy both of those books because they didn't have them in their library system, which is usually what I do. I go and check the card catalog first, and if they don't have it, then I request them to buy it, and then they either accept or deny my request. So some things, like Black Girl Baking, got approved, and I suspect that was because that was a newer cookbook that had just come out. These 2 requests did not get approved. And what they do when they don't approve requests is try to take the books out on an interlibrary loan. So one of these books is actually from the St. Louis library, and then the other book is actually all the way from Denver fucking Colorado. Because apparently there was not a closer library that like had these titles. So basically what they said was we're not gonna spend money on these, but we will borrow them from another library for you. And after I read these, I was really upset because the writing was really good. And I'm like, I feel like there's other people that need to read these. But I also understand that, you know, the title, which is why I wanted to get Even This Page is White, is I feel like it's very like in your face. So I kind of understand why they didn't want to get it. But at the same time, I'm like, if someone sees this like sitting on a shelf, like I guarantee you their curiosity is going to be piqued. Like if I saw this sitting there, I would definitely like want to pick it up. So I'm like, y'all really need to get these. And I'm Afraid of Men is like a book about feminism. That's not even like confronting you about race issues. So I really don't understand why they didn't want to get this one. Also because this one is like new. So I'm just like, now that I finished both of these, I'm super upset that my library doesn't see it as important enough to actually purchase. Like I live in Springfield, Missouri, which is like a white town where probably they don't have enough readers who would check something out like that to justify the expense of it. But I'm just like, I don't understand. So let me talk about the actual books now. Even This Page is White is a book of poetry, and this is my kind of fucking poetry. This is like all free verse, just like very much punches you in the face with like the truth, which is what I need. I want poems to punch me in the face. Both of the titles on these are just like, you just like you just like hit with it. It's like hit me, you know, like I love it. Oh, and I guess I should say a little bit about Vivek Shraya. She is a trans woman, although she lives in Canada. She's of Indian descent, is kind of also like an activist within the community. Obviously, most of the poems in this like deal with racial issues, but what I like about this is she's not just describing how racism affected her and her life, like receiving racism. She also describes the racism that she has towards other groups, which I think is something that doesn't get discussed a lot. Like, you can still be racist if you're brown. You can be black and racist against Hispanic people. Like, you can be Asian and racist against black people. Like, it's still something that happens. I just feel like she confronted it really honestly. Like, she talks about people would always make comments to her and her brother about like the fact that she was the lighter one and why are you so much darker and shit like that. And she would never defend her brother. So I guess it's just like looking back at that and feeling regret and shit. And that's like really honest. Like, I don't know a lot of people that would like admit to not having been there or stood up for that. Like, I really like that it's not only like talking about the racism that people exhibit towards her, but it's also like the mistakes that she's made. A lot of times I feel like people call people out, but they still have their own issues that they're not looking at. And I like that she actually tried to look at her own issues and then like express those. These poems are really good. I read these within like 24 hours of each other, literally. They're both really, really short. I'd probably give this like 5 stars. I'm definitely gonna like, I need this in my life. It's so good. I need more poetry like this. I don't really know what more to say because I just feel like people need to read it. You especially need to read this if you're a person of color who experiences racism. Like, she articulates the experiences really well, really succinctly, and it's like very impactful. Oh, I guess I should probably talk about I'm Afraid of Men. I don't know why I'm holding this up. I'll hold the other side up. Okay, so in I'm Afraid of Men, she just talks about, and she has a unique perspective on this, obviously, having presented as a man for so long and tried to present as a man, and obviously having like the privileges and stuff that goes along with that. but also like not quite fitting in. And then when deciding to transition, like experiencing the other side of that, where men would harass her for having on like feminine clothing or not behaving the way that they expected a man who hasn't physically transitioned to behave. So kind of like sees both sides of it and just kind of recounts the experiences that she had with dating and just like harassment and basically like the experience that women have where they have to tone down the way that they dress or when they go outside to try to not attract attention so that no one can say you were asking to be harassed, you were asking to be cornered or, you know, catcalled or raped or whatever. And that's ridiculous that we should even have to like edit ourselves, because I know I do that. I do things on purpose to where I'm like, that way no one can say anything about how I look. Like I don't wear makeup to work, or I'll always have my hair up, or just there's certain things that I just do. Or I would always like have my back to the wall, and if I have to bend down, I would always bend down like from the knees, not like over, you know, so no one's like looking at my butt and shit. Like all these things that you don't even realize that you got to do to avoid getting harassed. And I can't even imagine, like I'm not even that feminine presenting. Like I don't fucking do makeup and nails and hair and all that other shit. I can't even imagine being a person who expresses themselves like very traditionally feminine and trying to navigate this world, because I get harassed enough just existing the way I am, and I don't even really put forth that kind of an effort or anything. And if I did want to dress up and look nice, I don't want to, because I'm afraid that someone's going to be calling out. Like literally every time someone yells behind me, I don't even want to turn around because I know it's going to be someone harassing me. Like that's literally my fear. I will straight up ignore people who are yelling at me and keep walking to wherever I'm going. Like, and this is one of the reasons I always have headphones on in public. And she just articulates that really well. And this book is not even like, you can see how small it is, but it's literally like 80 pages. It's really short. It basically reads like a really long essay kind of broken into parts, but it's just these little vignettes from her life that really explain how it feels to have to navigate the world being a woman. And then at the end, she asks kind of this question that really hit me, which is, imagine who you would be if you didn't have to worry about if you're being too feminine or too masculine. Like, I don't know, that just kind of blew my mind, because it's like, yeah, who would you be if you didn't have to worry about conforming to the kind of gender binary or the gender stereotypes? Like I know I constantly, and obviously like I'm sure it's even worse for people who are trans or transitioning, but like all the time I feel like I'm not feminine enough, I'm not girly enough, because I'm not doing all these things that society says you need to do. Like, oh, you need to keep up with having your nails done, or you need to keep up with the latest trends on whatever you're putting on, like, you know. So I constantly struggle with that. And a while back I was going to talk about how I got just really inspired by Billie Eilish, who, I mean, people massively hate her, which I think has a lot to do with her being a teenage girl and making pop music. And I have a lot of theories on why people hate on her for literally no reason, but so I was going to make a whole video on that, but instead I'll just say that I feel like she inspired me. Like she doesn't dress in a traditionally feminine way. Like she just wears, you know, like the baggy clothes and stuff. And she does have a lot of white privilege to where when black people wear baggy clothes and stuff, they're looked at as thug and criminal. But when she does it, it's high fashion and it's Chanel. And, you know, so there's a lot of issues there. Like I could talk about her a lot, but I feel like she also just inspired me. Like you don't have to look like a traditionally feminine person. You don't have to constantly be sweating what image you're projecting. You can have a resting bitch face if you want. Like that, if that's your face, then like own your face. Like if you feel like, you know, not plucking your eyebrows into oblivion, which is something that I've done for like a really long time in my life, then like don't fucking do it. Like, is it really worth the effort? Like you could just have fucking bushes if you want. You could just, you know, like, I don't know, I just got really inspired from that. It probably sounds stupid, but like it's a really famous woman who's like not conforming to the feminine stereotypes of what you're supposed to be attractive, and is succeeding. Now, I don't know if it's because of that, probably partially, but just like in spite of that. And I don't know, that's pretty inspiring. At the same time, my mind is making all these like arguments where it's like, well, she's conventionally attractive, you know, she's white, she's skinny, she's young, so she can pretty much do whatever she wants and still be considered attractive. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I still get inspiration from it. I feel like both of these works are just really impactful. Like, even though they're short, they're really articulate and they just like nail the issues. Like, honestly, both these books are amazing. Like, freaking 5 stars. I'm not even kidding. And I never give anything 5 stars, but like, yes. You know, like, I am here for it. And I'm gonna keep trying to get my library to buy her books. So she has some like picture books out next month. Since they don't want to purchase either of these, I'm gonna request that they purchase the other 3 And they'll probably deny me, but hey, at least I'll get them from the interlibrary loan or whatever. It's just a shame to me how libraries, this like, these are literally 5 stars and like they don't have them in the library, but all these like mediocre ass books like they'll spend money on. Like it just blows my mind, and that's why I really want to buy, especially even This Page is White, which I'm definitely going to buy. I really want to support people who are like speaking the truth, authors, and especially marginalized authors that I feel like are doing the work that needs to be done. I'm going to put my money there, even if, you know, the institutions or the government or whatever you want to call it doesn't consider it important or worthy of time. Like, that's just even more of why I need to invest, need to support. I don't know how more people aren't talking about these. Like, you need to check these out. Everyone does. Do it. They're so short. No excuse. What the fuck? I hate you if you don't read this. No, I'm just kidding. Basically, if you're somebody that wants a more like straightforward narrative where she's telling you exactly what happens, kind of like a story format, then get I'm Afraid of Men, because that's more she's writing it out. If you're someone that likes to kind of piece together what's going on, sort of get little glimpses of it, you don't like as linear of a narrative, I would recommend Even This Page is White. And I'm super excited to read her other books because she's just so good. I feel like there's not going to be a book of hers that I'm going to hate based off of what I've read here, and her titles are just out of this world. Like, I want to marry Even This Page is White. I want to marry that title, you know? It's like, what's that other title? How Long Till Black Future Month? Some of these titles I'm just like, oh, just tattoo it on my body, you know? Like, I don't even have any tattoos, but you know what I'm saying? Like, tattoo it on my heart, my mind. It's so good. Just hit me, sis. It's like you're not even trying to conceal that you are coming for these hoes. Attack them. Attack the racism head on. You feel me? Like, attack the issue. I love that. Just assassinate racism. Gratata. Or whatever. Or whatever. I can't do machine gun noises. Damn. I would say let me know if you're gonna read these, but if you're not gonna read these, you best not tell me, because I'll show up at your home. No, I'm just kidding. Please read these. Please. She's so talented and underrated. Read it. Do it. Do it right now. What are you doing? I see you. You're not reading it. You're not putting it on hold. You're not buying it. You're not doing it. Do it. Do it right now. Don't even comment. Do it.
Go order this book, then come back and smash that.